Welcome back to the broadcast. You've heard me talk about it before, my bout with melanoma, and it's a form of skin cancer, and I've had 2 diagnoses, and both were early diagnosis, and so this is Skin Cancer Awareness Month, and today is commonly known as Melanoma Monday, and I've invited my doctor, Dr. Eric Hollabaugh, in to talk more about melanoma, what to look for, to inform everybody, just make awareness today. Thanks for joining me.
Great to be here.
I'm glad you're here.
Thank
I know
you.
we talk a lot about this off camera, but let's help everybody understand kind of what melanoma is.
Certainly. You know, melanoma is a skin cancer that's derived from the pigment-producing cells in the body. And we see melanoma increase over the last 30 years. The incidence has increased significantly to the point now where in 2014 we expect to see over 75,000 melanomas diagnosed this year. Wow. And of those 75,000 diagnoses, we expect to see almost 10,000 deaths.
Wow. Wow.
And that risk factor is higher the more lightly pigmented your skin is. So that's, I mean, your and my lifetime, of our lifetime risk is about 2%, where someone who's Hispanic in background, theirs would be 0.5%.
All right.
And someone who's African American, although a lot of African Americans think that they can't get melanoma, about 1/10 of 1% of African Americans will be diagnosed with melanoma as well.
Right. So there's the ABCs that we know a lot and we've heard a lot, but I think it's important to kind of share and go through those one more time with everybody.
Sure. It's A, B, C, D, and E. So A is asymmetry. So if you take a pigmented lesion, a mole, and if you can draw a line down the center of it, and one side looks like the other side, then it's symmetrical. B would be borders. If the borders are evenly pigmented, where the pigment hasn't leached off to one side or looks like Pac-Man hasn't been chewing out of the edges of it, then those borders would be considered to be even. C is color. If the color is uniformly one color, whether it's brown, whether it's pink, whether it's a little bit bluish in nature, that's better than it being multicolored.
Right.
And then D is diameter. If it's smaller than a pencil eraser, which is 6 millimeters, that's better than if it's being larger than a pencil eraser.
Right.
And E is any kind of changes, evolution. If we see anything evolve in that, like it's growing, or it's itching, or it's symptomatic, or it's bled, or it's ulcerated, then that's another sign that
Right.
lesion should be checked.
I think for me, mine were both on my limbs, which isn't it more common to have them on your limbs?
Actually, it is. It's more common for men to have it on the back, neck, and the arms, and it's more common for women to have it on the legs.
Right.
And it's a little more common in women if they get it at a younger diagnosis, a younger age, and it's a little more common in men if it's over the age of 61.
Isn't that interesting?
It
Now,
is.
let's talk about sunscreen, because here we are, it's getting hot, we're getting out by the pool, things like that. Let's talk about importance and how much you suggest.
Well, I can tell you right now, the only time you need to wear sunscreen is every day. So that's an easy
Are you
thing
talking
to
about all
remember.
year long?
All year long. As long as the sun is out, then you need to use sunscreen, because the ultraviolet radiation that produces this damage does come through the clouds. So on a cloudy day, you can still get sunburned. Everybody might know that. But we recommend a sunscreen that has a UVA and UVB protectant, which are the
Right.
2 most common the 2 only ultraviolet radiation wavelengths that make it through the sun. And then that has an SPF factor of over 30.
Over 30.
And what most people don't know is that you have to reapply sunscreen every 2 hours.
Yeah.
And when you do put it on, to cover your arms, your neck, and your legs, and your face, you need about a shot glass full of sunscreen.
A shot glass.
A shot glass, about an ounce to ounce and a half
I
of
don't think I
sunscreen.
quite use that much. That's a lot.
Well, you should actually be using more sunscreen. You should run out of sunscreen before you run out of toothpaste.
Wow, that's an interesting.
And your teeth are very white, so I know you're using your toothpaste.
I know you do it toothpaste. All right, well, I'm so glad you were here today, because I think this is so important. And for me, I just like to encourage people that if there's something that is just a little worrisome to you, or just you think has a little different look, just go get it checked out. Go see a dermatologist or your general practitioner and just get somebody else to look at it.
Certainly, and it's one of those things where nobody knows your skin better than you do. So when you go see a doctor, a dermatologist, or any physician that takes a look at your skin, we're just getting a little snapshot of what you have right there. But you may have some history there to tell me, well, that thing has never been there before, so that means more to me than this is all I've had all my life and it hasn't changed.
Right.
So, and whenever you don't feel right about it and you've been told something different, it never hurts to get a second opinion.
Second opinion never hurts. All right, thank you, Dr. Hollabaugh.
Of course, my
Appreciate
pleasure.
you being here today. And there are a few free skin cancer screenings going on across the area over the next few weeks, and you can find one by going to thebroadcasttv.com and then clicking on today's links. And